specific goals. Where do you want to be in 3, 6, 9, 12 months? How are you going to get there? Who are the customers that you want to seek out? Who are you going to sell to? Who are you going to do work for? Who are you going to make relationships with that can bring clients to you? Okay? And then cash flow projection and money plan. How many people have actually sat down and figured out a money plan before you jumped in? Yeah. That is key. You need to be able to know, can you support yourself? Are you working a job? Do you need to try to do this in the evenings and on the weekends? What do you need to do? I have seen businesses fail, and I have seen families fail, for lack of a better term, because the proper planning wasn't done, and somebody jumped in, and then 2 months later, they're panicking. They don't have anything coming in yet. It takes a little while to get your business ramped up, to get your clients coming in. Okay? Marketing plan. How are you going to put your business out there? How are you going to get customers? How are you going to market? You're going to spend money? You're going to make relationships? Are you going to utilize the connections that you already have, being here in Legacy in the community? Are you going to just ask to meet certain people? Think about the people that could bring clients to you. For instance, if I'm a QuickBooks trainer, I could work with other accountants who could bring people to me to do the setup for them. So I could leverage those connections. So who is somebody that works with the people that you want to work with? You do something a little bit different, a little more special, that they can send business to you. And then brand yourself as an expert. You know, social media is all the rage, so get on Facebook, do the Twitter thing, get all of that going. Brand yourself. Get yourself out there as the expert. Let people know that you can do this better than anybody else. And why? What sets you apart from 15 other people that do the same thing that you do? What makes you special? Get all of this on paper. That's the key thing. Write it out. Don't just think it. Write it out on paper. Okay. This is really key. Decide whether or not you're going to have employees. If you're going to have employees, you need to hire a service. I always tell my clients, hire a service, don't do it yourself. The money that you pay a payroll service is actually your insurance policy. Because I can tell you, the fines and penalties that you're going to pay when you make a mistake, not if, are far greater than paying a payroll company to do your payroll for you. Then it's out of your mind and you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you've done payroll before, you understand it and you know it, then you're probably okay. But if you have no idea, hire someone to do it for you. Learn the difference between 1099 subcontractors and employees. This is always a big one. There's a gray line, according to the IRS, between 1099 people and employees. You need to look at those. You need to look at the people you're going to use. Get the proper documentation and then decide if they really truly look like employees, you better put them on payroll just to save yourself. If you have somebody that works for you and you are called for an audit, if the IRS determines that that person is actually an employee, it doesn't matter if they've worked for you for 2 or 3 years. They will go back for back taxes, payroll taxes that you should have withheld. Okay? So these are the kind of little things that you've got to know up front. Take care of them now. Get everything on paper. Get it lined out how you need it to be, because 2 years down the road, it's too late. You're already getting, if you're pulled for an audit, you're already in trouble with back taxes. You're already at that point where you're thinking, oh my gosh, I should have done this. Okay? Okay, is there any questions? This is Krystal's part.
Can you just give us a little more insight into the difference between subcontractors and employees? What are some of the things they look at?
Some of the things they look at is, do you tell them where to be, what time to be there, and exactly how you want it done? If you're giving them a schedule, you're telling them where to be, and you're in control of the project, they're probably going to deem them as employees. If you hire someone and you say, okay, I need this job done, I've got 2 weeks to get it done, just get it to me as soon as you're finished, and they take it off and run with it at their own office, then that's going to look more like a 1099 subcontractor. Okay? So I know there's a gray area there. If you supply anything to them, and if they come to your office and you set their schedule, put them on payroll. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's worth the little extra you're gonna pay in payroll taxes to make sure you're okay. Any questions? Just love this talk. Everybody looks at me like I'm nuts. Okay.
Some of my clients send me a 1099 and some don't. So what is, I mean, am I required to get a 1099? I mean, am I?
Are you an LLC?
No, I'm a sole proprietor.
You're sole proprietor, okay. Yeah, pretty much. The threshold is $600. If they have paid you less than $600, they don't have to send one to you.
Well, I mean,
If they paid you over $600, then they should be sending you a 1099.
why is that? I mean, it's no different than if you buy a copy, or you're not going to send your copier company a 1099. You're buying a copy.
It might come January. The changes are looking really bad. They're going to change the laws in January, so what I'm going to tell you right now currently
Okay.
is if you're not an incorporated company, like a subchapter S or a C Corp, you're an LLC sole proprietor, and that company pays you more than $600, they have to send you a 1099. You get the 1099, the other half of the 1099 goes to the Social Security Administration. That's how the IRS knows you made money.
Because in your taxes, it'll ask you, you know, when you report your income, did you get do you have a 1099? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I'm still reporting all my income.
Yeah,
Even
you're
if
still
I
reporting
don't.
on your income, but that company is required to give you a 1099 to report it on both sides. Because if they send it in a 1099 to the government and you didn't report it, they're going to cross-check that and they're going to find out.
So whose responsibility is it?
It is
My
the company's.
responsibility to get it, or is it their responsibility to send it to you?
It's their responsibility to send it to you, but it's your responsibility to report it as income,
Exactly.
whether you get it or not.
Right, which I always do.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying, some clients I'll call and they'll say, we don't send out 1099.
yeah, they're doing the wrong thing.
So,
They are, so you just say, okay, and let it go. I mean, yeah, as long as you're reporting it on your
I
end,
mean,
you're okay.
I can be very detailed, but
Yeah.
again, on your taxes, it'll ask you, because you have to key in on the client, and do you have a 1099, and yes or no? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
What about when you're using contractors or freelancers or freelance writers, creative services? Do you have to send a 1099 from your company to them?
If you pay them over $600,
Okay, and what happens if you don't?
you're taking a risk that if you're audited, you're going to be in trouble.
And what would that be?
Fines and
Fine.
penalties.
Fine?
They can fine you. Yeah, and what you want to give, as a lot of us probably work on that subcontractor basis, you want to make sure that you have a W-9 filled out for yourself, and that's what you hand to a new client. Because that W-9 then gives them the information that they need to give you a 1099. Okay, and if you're hiring somebody, you need to get a W-9 from them. Now, Krystal and I come a lot of experience in the construction industry, and I've ticked off a lot of guys because they didn't get their first check until they gave me a W-9. But you have to have it. You have to have it on file. It doesn't go to the government, it stays in your office.
That's a great idea, because then it tells them you expect to get a 1099. I like that.
Exactly.
Now, what if you are an LLC? Then do you have to still get 1099s?
Yes, currently. I don't know how it's going to change. Does anybody who works in the tax or anything, like, do you know, any idea how it might change?
Well, in terms of work, if you're providing work for someone, they've hired you to do accounting or construction or whatever, and they pay you, they have to send you, if you're not a corporation, they have to send you a 1099 MISC as a subcontractor. If you're a corporation, they don't have to send you a 1099, just the way the law is. Okay. The big flat about 1099 is that a couple of years ago the tax laws were changed,